Stream since we started here. This best of 5 is going to be the same setup here. CTF Fathom to start this one off. And we're going to get things kicked off with my boys over on the Panda side. Ryan Noob going to get this one started.
And he puts shots. He's trying to stay alive. He gets his shields taken down right off the bat. He knows that he's going to have to push up with his team. His team gets 2 kills, 3 kills. They have full control here, and he's at top middle, gets the camo. Gabriel's trying to stay alive, picks up a BR. He's going to play really sneaky right here, and this is a power position. Look at this entire Panda roster. They have control of the entire enemy's base, and they're staying alive.
Goofy, and I believe that is Cloud, going to be inside of the enemy base here as Ryan Noob doing a good job of staying alive. Gab going to just continue to take control of this camo. There's finding another player. Should see them extend this lead here in a second. But very patient play. We talked about it in the first series on CTF Fathom. Going to be really important. But now back into the driver's seat. And looks like an easy cap might be going down here for Panda.
And notice how they didn't just start to run the flag and just try to sort of get the flag across the map as fast as possible. They took their time. They're making sure that they get all the right kills, and they're escorting the flag back with the team, with their entire team. And they put that first flag cap in, and it's only within the first minute and a half of the game. That's a very strong lead.
I'm going to hop on board with Cloud here as he does have that railgun in his back pocket, looking to lock down this blue treehouse here. Spots player coming up, going to be using that radar to his advantage, taking him out, and now maybe potentially finding a double, and it looks like Panda clicking on all cylinders here as they have 2 players from their team inside of the base. Easy grenades are going to spot a double kill for him, maybe even the triple, looking for his overkill. He's got it in front of it with the railgun, finding the overkill. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Maybe it might be late on those medals, but that's just a triple only connecting there. But nonetheless, 4 members dropping there for Know Your Strengths, and it's not looking good as Cloud looking to continue this little spree that he's on.
And Know Your Strengths needs to make sure that they single out Cloud right here. If they want to be able to have any chance in this game, they got to get that railgun out of his hands, and they need to start working together to gain top middle control, because you can see how they sort of just sprinted across the bottom of the map and expected to just get free kills. A player like Cloud is not going to give you free kills. You know what I mean? You're going to have to chase him. He's a veteran. He knows what he's doing, and he's going to play it smart.
Gab doing just that, finding another kill there in blue corners, looking for an opportunity to pull the flag, though. Not spotting any members on his radar, but the kills coming in abundance for his team across the map here. He's just going to go ahead and push out and get further control. See on the other side, I do want to hop on board with the guys over on Know Your Strengths, see what's happening on this side for them. Rockets looking to find himself a kill here. He does connect there. He's got a teammate next to him as well, but 0-2. You're 1 cap away. Just a few minutes into CTF Fathom. It's going to be such a huge momentum starter. What do they need to do to try to flip this one around, or how do you stop the bleeding, Trey?
It's really just all about the teamwork, and as you can see right here, he still needs to be trying to get top middle with his team, and you don't see his team controlling the top point of the map very well. And also, I'd like to mention, too, I was watching Rocket there for a second. It looked like he played on like a 7 or 8 sensitivity. I don't know if you saw how fast it was, but that's going to be interesting to see. And right there, you see Panda Gaming close out that game extremely fast. They come in hot, and they're ready to win the series.
And so that's the thing, too. The dynamic of this team is going to be really interesting. We kind of talked about it in chat. Is a little bit of a different roster, but what's interesting to see here, Ryan Noob, Goofy, back on the same team. They were on Warriors together for a long time. Their lineage of team goes back way, way, way into like Halo 3 and Halo Reach. So, and then, of course, Gab, arguably one of the most underrated snipers in Halo, period. So stepping it up in a big way here is Panda.
And to touch a little bit on what you were talking about with the Warrior situation, I mean, I remember Ryan Noob and Goofy having a huge performance on main stage, and Goofy sort of jumping up in the middle of the series and like screaming at the other team. He was like, "Let's go, Warriors!" Just like freaking out with his, he was a lot younger, so his voice hadn't really peaked yet or progressed, but now obviously he's a lot older, and so he has the ability to have a little baritone in that voice. But yeah, the lineage that you were talking about, they just have a lot of chemistry, they have a lot of history, and they really know how to work together. They both have a similar aggressive play style. They talk a lot of smack, and I think that's going to really help them here in this tournament in St. Louis.
Taking a look at the stats for this roster, it was Cloud 12-2, positive 10 ratio, and then I believe that was Faisal, Goofy with the 10-1, so that's a positive 9 ratio. Very, very strong showing here for Panda. The boys over on Know Your Strengths definitely have some work cut out for them moving into this one. So, of course, staying the course here on round number 1, we got Team Slayer on the rig coming up next for our map number 2. We saw as the momentum switched quite a bit from the previous series. Very possible we could see that happen for this team, but you look at this Panda roster and you go, how is this not a, this team placing right in there? I mean, it's very possible these teams take some games, if not win a series from our pro teams that are here today. These are players, very, very talented players. So, I mean, again, just going to be a tall task here for the guys on Know Your Strengths. But round number 1, anything can happen.
And to speak on that, to speak on this opportunity they have still, TS on the rig is a really big opportunity for, and there you see a bold player, Goofy. He's doing a little trash talk. I like that. He winks at the camera. It's looking good. Okay. Well, anyways, talking about an amateur opportunity like with an AM team, something that you can capitalize for a game type is Team Slayer. That's where you could change the tide of a series and really come out extremely hot. It doesn't matter if you lost the first game 3-0, 3-1, 3-2. It doesn't matter if the game went 15 minutes, 30 minutes back in H3. It doesn't matter. You have the opportunity to come in game 2, and anyone can win a Team Slayer. So that's sort of a tide change that they have to capitalize on.
Yeah, and stats definitely telling the story from last game as well. I mean, that's the biggest thing, right? You got to make sure that you are carrying the weight, winning these individual battles, arguably the biggest fundamental piece for competitive Halo. So just kind of staying alive, really taking advantage of that. But you're looking at the rig, which is a very straightforward Slayer. We watched as last series we had True Ambition, and then it was referring back to Templar Esports, and they were playing in Templar Esports, very aggressive, which is Fear Itself's team. And we watched this True Ambition kind of dug themselves almost into a hole. They had all four members getting pinched in yellow corner multiple times. So just one of those things where you need to kind of stay on top of it. So hopefully these two teams, or hopefully Know Your Strengths, kind of sitting back and saying, hey, we clearly need to change something for map number 2. What is that, and finding that? And Trey, that's what I'm going to ask you. I mean, based off the numbers, we had a few members only get 1 kill. We had a combined 9 kills here for Know Your Strengths in game number 1. I mean, it might just be the fact that someone's got to step up for the team.
Mm-hmm. And being able to step up, you're going to have to put yourself in the position of the power weapons, especially on this map. This is one of those maps that is a showmanship map. You've seen it a lot in the Pro League. You've seen it a lot in different tournaments. For instance, like a player like Ninja, watching Ninja when I'm watching the Pro League, and he pulls out the sniper on the rig, he just goes off triple kills, and Straight Sick doing the same thing. You saw that last tournament in Chattanooga when Aries Carey's got a really awesome triple kill right on stream. Like, you want to be able to have a little bit of showmanship with those weapons and use them perfectly. That's all I can really say. And you need to be able to get on top of the map. And last game, they were not on top of the map. You saw them just running down low, trying to chase flag caps that were already gone, and they need to slow down, push together, and get map control.
Seems like a lot. Seems like a lot to do, but when you're playing against a team like this, the best thing you can do is definitely learn from the series. So, worst case scenario, you try not to dig yourself in that mental hole in terms of, hey, we're playing against, top pros. What are we going to do in this series? It's really one of those things where you just simply have to learn. So hopefully the guys on the red side are focusing in on that. Just you got to learn from each game. So take something from the first one, try to learn it, and apply it to map number 2, and hopefully you can get something going. Whether it's a little bit of momentum or, I've seen crazier things. Maybe even taking game number 2 would be pretty big for them. So, but you got to be thinking longevity. This is a best of 5, and this is round number 1. If you're just joining us here on stream, we appreciate you stopping by. This is the UGC 28K Open LAN event, and realistically, this is only the second LAN or Open LAN that we've had this year for Halo 5. So, in a really big way, Halo is really stepping it up towards the end of the year, and it's exciting to see for the community.
And for UGC, like, when I hear 28K, like, that just gets me so pumped, because I love watching Halo, I loved competing, but man, that's exciting. Like, $28,000 on the line, that's a big number.
It really is, especially for a scene that's been needing everything that they can possibly get. So it's just really cool to see the crowd develop. It's really cool to see these types of venues develop for the Halo scene. When you look at esports in general, so much growth everywhere. And so, I mean, to kind of speak to the Open Series, obviously we're here in St. Louis for the Halo 5 Open. There is an Open Series, so you'll see other games, some of which that I don't believe have been announced, but one we do have coming in the next couple months. You'll see Smash, which is sitting at a 40K right now. A lot of big names coming out to that one as well. I believe that one's in December. So just big stuff. Big shout out to UGC for kind of keeping Halo, in its thoughts, kind of showing off that we can
showing
show
some
up.
love.
Absolutely, big stuff. So we're still getting set here for map number 2. Any thoughts that you want to bring into game number 2 that we haven't touched on, Trey?
Nothing that we haven't touched on, other than, I'll just say it again: map control, weapon control. If you leave the weapons in the hands of players like Gab, especially with Sniper, Ryan Noob, that's going to be a big problem. So if you see them have those weapons, you need to put a lot of pressure on them and make sure that you shut them down before they're able to go off. You saw a quick killing spree last game out of Cloud with the railgun top middle, and you definitely want to shut that down. You don't want to let that just happen.
And again, sometimes in a lot of situations can be easier said than done, but somebody's got to step it up for the Know Your Strengths team. So obviously, taking a look forward, we do have a impressive bracket going down here, challenge. We have the best of 5, obviously for the open side of things, and then we will see how that plays out because, of course, with how everything's broken down, the top 3 teams will be receiving $5,000 to the top 3 amateur teams, and then, of course, the $22,500 breakdown for the championship bracket. So essentially, paying out, 11 teams here at this event. That's insane, especially for Halo. So a lot of incentive to make it out to this event. So a big shout out to UGC. I know there's a little bit of back and forth with how the prize pool should be broken down, but I think something that all of us can agree on is obviously the competitive, to maintain the competitive scene, we have to have a strong pro scene, and I think that Halo and 343 in general, they have kind of established that in a big way. Now I think it's very important that we give back to our amateur scene. Rocket showing off and giving us a little handshake. Hey. You can't take away from a smile like that, man. Having that type of momentum, being happy, smiles on the faces going into map number 2.
And you can see that roster right there. They're extremely young, and that's what I like to see. I like to see young players like that come out and show up. And even if, like when we were competing, just going into a series like this, sometimes you can learn a lot really quickly from a series like this against veteran players, and then come back in, and we're going to jump right into game 2.
This time we're going to get it started with a different member from Panda Gaming. I want to start this one with Gabriel. I want to see if he's going to try to contest for this sniper in any way. Obviously, looking to make a play here on the camo. The opposite member not quite going to be able to clamber onto that ledge. So camo still up for grabs. A few kills dropping for Panda already, so this one should be awarded to Gab pretty easily.
And you saw last game also Gab was able to pick up the camo. So he seems to be doing, and he's got a player on his radar that he did not see for a moment, but takes him down with the shotgun. He's going to move into a power position. This is one of the most vital and important spots on the rig.
Absolutely. Going to find himself another kill, looking for that double. That one's going to come down. He's got the overkill in front of him. Both members from Panda Gaming going to try to jump up and clamber, but they're going to kind of cancel each other out, getting in the way a little bit. But strong start here for Panda Gaming, as it's no surprise. Shotgun in the hands of an invisible Gabriel is a very dangerous one.
And that's exactly what we talked about right before this game. That killing spree is very, very fast. There's 55 seconds into the game, and Gabriel's got a killing spree with still a little bit of camo left and a shotgun.
Such a devastating weapon from up close, continuing to use that as Gabriel staying alive. 13-2, not the start that Know Your Strengths wanted, but definitely one that they could kind of swing around, but you got to slow it down just a little bit if you are this team. It seems like they're just pushing out, not really helping each other, and you just saw there's 3 members from Panda Gaming all jumping up together and staying close, finding those easy team games. And you know what? There's a lot of concepts to Halo that you don't necessarily have to be a flashy player in order to be a strong team. We've seen it in every single title, but it's just a good example of working together, shooting together, you don't necessarily have to outgun a player individually. It's a team game, and it's something that a lot of old pros have been preaching for the longest time. You know, take a teammate. Everything is about shooting together and working together.
And you saw a moment ago how Gab saw two players and he backed down immediately. And I like to reference the saying, give him an inch, they'll take a mile. And so he's not giving him anything. He just, as soon as he saw two players, he dipped out. He wasn't, he wasn't going to go for anything flashy.
No need here. It's Goofy looking to spot another player, 22-4. Really, really large deficit here for Know Your Strengths. Gonna have to get something going. We have a lot. It seems like a very hectic game so far, as a few kills actually going to go down for them. Do want to jump on board here with GOOMBA, see if they can get anything going. They had some smiles on their faces going into this one. Those smiles quickly deteriorated with this lead from Panda Gaming, but it's not over yet. As steep as this lead may be for them, as they are finding a few kills. GOOMBA's going to find quite a few members, and 3 actually going to go down. That might be 4 dead for Panda Gaming, and all of a sudden, 10-25. Still a large lead here for GOOMBA. For Panda, but that was 4 members dead.
And he's got full weapon control right there. He had sniper and 1 shot left in the shotgun. He knows that shotgun's going to be coming up soon again, and the new sniper's going to be coming up. This is an opportunity for them to be able to collapse on the spawn. If they work together, they go 2 down right there, and that's very unfortunate because that was their opportunity to start coming back into this game.
Yeah, it's you saw immediately as everyone just kind of went in their own direction. Literally all 3 players, aside from GOOMBA, just split off in 3 different directions and all died individually. That's the biggest thing. Little to no communication on the faces of some of these players as we're looking at them via player cams. So, I mean, that's a big piece of it. You know, losing by this much is definitely not a pick-me-up. But you got to find ways to try to fight back into the game, and you got to be talking to your teammates. So, definitely some things from the Know Your Strength side that can be improved upon, but AA getting collapsed on. Every opportunity is looking to just jump up higher into the map. He's spotting a player from the other team.
Yeah, and you see how they can just controlling that top point of the map. It's very difficult. AA tried 4 or 5 different times right there in that situation to get off the bottom of the map, but he can't seem to make it happen. GABRIEL's got sniper here, and this is extremely lethal in this player's hands. And there you see 1 kill. He's got sniper shotgun combo. He's going to be able to stay alive. He's looking for spawns. He's going to get to the top point of the map because it's got the most angles.
That's a big thing, too, that they talk about not only in the Pro League, but earlier I was talking, in the same series with Dave, and he was just saying that a big point for many snipers on some teams is that they just take a very, very, disadvantage or just a very poor angle. Not being up high in the map is, GABRIEL showing off that exact reason. Being up top, got to get up top and find those angles and put them to use. So 41 to 15, as this one looks like it's all over here for Know Your Strengths, at least for map number 2. Panda Gaming looking to close this one out. Is GABRIEL going to find another kill?
And the reason why I believe GABRIEL is so lethal with this sniper is not because he has one of the best shots in the game. He has an extremely good shot, yes. But like he's doing right here, he just has an angle on every single teammate and player. And so when he sees a teammate in a battle, he's able to get that easy pick or the easy headshot, easy cleanup kill. That's what you want to see out of a top player.
Panda really performing the way we expected up to this point. GABRIEL going to spot another player. Doesn't have a weapon to clean up that long distance, but doesn't need one because he's got enemies coming to him. 1 more kill is all it's going to take, and it looks like that's going to happen there for GABRIEL and friends. 50 to 18. That is going to be a steak dinner. Very unfortunate and underperforming there for Know Your Strengths. Very strong showing here for
Jeff Ruby's Outback. What's your preference?
As long as it's not,
I'm more of a New York strip kind of guy.
Whatever works for me, man. Free steaks is free steaks. 2-0. Panda Gaming going to take that series lead. Now just 1 game remaining here will end it. And to be quite honest, Trey, this is going to be a tough one. Strongholds on Empire. Very, very aggressive game type. Arguably one of the most impressive teams that we've watched in past experiences, especially in chat, kind of referring to Ryan Noob and Cloud's performance. They're a very aggressive team, and that played to their advantage. And then obviously for the most aggressive players, GABRIEL doing a really good job of that as well. So definitely going to be a tough one.
And strongholds on any map is honestly probably the most difficult to get used to coordinating with your team. out of any game type, it's going to take the most coordination. I mean, flag's been around forever in Halo, and so obviously you want to have people pulling the flag all the time. Slayer, self-explanatory. You want to have extremely skilled players. Make sure you have power weapon control and high ground. But Stronghold's is a little bit different. There's a lot of different dynamics that go into it, and it's extremely hard for a Game 3 to turn around a series.
That's Gabriel rocking those Proverb speaker tags on his Astros. Shout out to Proverb. And everyone from P5 pulling off yet another gorgeous production so far in this one. Ryan Noob and friends just looking to close this one out 3-0. They'd be moving on to winners round number 2. I believe this is one of the last games we have in round number 1. So round 1 completing off in the crowd right now. Just a few more games being played, and then of course we'll scurry our way into round number 2. So the rig, the previous map we watched, just absolutely Panda just
giving you a beautiful view of everything that was on the map previously.
But this one's going to be Strongholds on Empire, Trey. So we're jumping right into this one. Cloud on your screen, a very strong push for Overshield so far. Cloud able to stay alive as he does have a teammate. One shot, though, going to clean that up now. So 3 members dropping here for Know Your Strengths. Overshield going in favor of this Panda Gaming roster. It's already burned through, though.
And you see Scott getting this, and Scott, when I say Scott, I mean Cloud. When Cloud getting this solid, and he's got a little bit of ammo left in it, makes good use of it to clean up the kill, and then he's going to be pushing this 3rd cap. Hopefully he can get this, and that'll be complete control. He's looking for spawns, knows that players are going to be spawning the opposite ends of the map, going to be looking outside to make sure no one's flanking him. And they trade one of the hills. He's trying to stay alive. He's going to be pushing into the turbine, looking for kills. He knows somebody's in the pit. His teammate cleans him up, and they're 2 dead on Know Your Strengths.
Yeah, and you got to think, there was literally a teammate from Panda Gaming on each side of the map. They were also controlling pit. If they're in all 3 strongholds, you got to wonder where this enemy team is. Kills so crucial. These individual kills going down left and right here for Panda Gaming. So if things are going to turn around, it's looking very grim here for Know Your Strengths. If anything, you just got to take something from this game and you know, not quite roll over and feel like the game is just over. I mean, it's very one-sided, but at the same time, you're at this tournament for a reason. So definitely taking away anything they can from this game and this series in general, kind of learning from these pros. And there's definitely reasons and, you know, mannerisms in game that make them so good, so you got to learn from that.
And there's moments where I've seen, especially coming from AM teams, where you see AM teams sort of self-defeat because they're down one game, or they're down in a game, or they're down in a series. Or I've even seen teams self-defeat before they play a team. They're already deciding, oh, this is not going to work out. We're not going to probably win this one. We're not going to do too well. So I just want to say you gotta stay motivated. You gotta stay strong and mentally strong in some of these amateur situations. Yeah,
and you know, definitely to your point, there's definitely a lot of situations where you know, teams kind of beat themselves. Definitely the case in most situations. So Ryan Noob and friends, going to find that Overshield and a few more kills for them. 37 and counting. That is total control here for Panda Gaming, and they have just had a more than stellar performance for this team. And I don't think you, if you're on Panda Gaming or you're a fan of Panda, I don't know if they could have done much more to have a better showing. So definitely looking forward to see what they can do farther along into the tournament. Because just an absolutely dominating performance here so far in round number 1.
And this is a lot of slave power coming out of this Panda Gaming roster. You just see there's ground pounds going on everywhere. He's trying to get these easy kills with that OS, utilizing that and making sure he uses the Spartan abilities.
I'm pretty sure he's only going for ground pound kills. I've only seen him do that.
I mean, that's what I do when I play Halo, but I'm also not at this skill level.
Ryan, that good that he's going to pull off all these kills with the ground pound. I mean, so it's funny to think about, but if I'm being honest, there's a reason why he's coming down with a lot of ground pound kills. Like, if you think about it, his positioning in the map is very smart. Like, he's keeping those height advantage in situations. And
he's higher and they're lower.
I mean, that's it. That's all it takes. 85 to just a couple. Those single-digit points not going to get it done here. So Panda Gaming going to be moving forward in this one, a 3-0 sweep going down. I know you don't want to jump in, you know, It's not over till it's over on Strongholds. But that's going to be it for this one. So moving forward, Trey, Panda Gaming, I don't think it's much of a surprise from prediction standpoint.
And we expected sort of a dominating performance out of them. It's a veteran roster. What else do you really expect? They've had so much LAN experience. They've had so much main stage experience. And there's really not too many scenarios that they don't understand or they can't expect. So they've been through a series where they're down. They've been through a series where they're up and they lose. They've been through so much. You're going to expect them to come and be a dominating force on LAN.
And they did exactly that. So that's going to be it for this one.